Beyonce's Cowboy Carter album won Album of the Year. And okay, not only just that, not only that, and you think that that's the most impressive part, but in the Grammys, it was also voted the best country album. The best country album of the year. Can anyone say Comeback Queen? Because that is straight up ridiculous, crazy, freaking amazing. And honestly, we just have so many lessons to learn from Beyonce from this, and I'm going to break it down for you on this episode today. Because Beyonce literally showed resilience. She showed grace. She showed commitment. She showed dedication. All of the things, honestly, that I feel like so many of us are kind of lacking, which is preventing us from actually reaching our goals. So I posted this on Threads in December, right when the halftime show happened. And there was this whole frenzy around Beyonce. I remember my Threads feed was literally just Beyonce the entire time. And I was like, okay, I've also got some lessons I need to share with everyone. So I posted this on Threads. I'm going to read it right now. I said, whether you hate or love Beyonce, here's one life lesson she taught us during the halftime show on Christmas. Show up and shine, no matter the noise. During her show, she gave us a masterclass on resilience and grace. Despite the haters, she did it anyways. Despite not being nominated for any awards during the CMA Awards, she did it anyways. Her message was loud and clear. Your worth is not defined by external validation, and your talent doesn't need permission to exist. Do it anyways. So I want you to think about this for yourself. What are you holding yourself back on because some people might criticize it? What dreams are you putting on pause because you're afraid someone won't approve or because you just didn't get the recognition that you thought you needed? If Beyonce can rise above the noise, so can you. Your passion, your talent, and your vision are valid, whether they clap or not. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. Okay, I'm not going to lie, that was a really good post. Thank you. Had its own little viral moment there. But truly, it is so crazy because what stops a lot of us from doing the things that we really want to do, from going for what our heart desires, from what we were meant to do in this world, what we were put on this universe to do, the things that stop so many of us is simply what other people are going to think about it, which is which is so crazy because number one, at the end of the day, most people 90% of the time aren't thinking about you. Like they literally won't care. And if they are thinking about you, maybe they will for like a couple of minutes, max an hour, and then you're out of their brain. Trust me. People are way more concerned about themselves than they are you. But for some reason, we still have this innate desire to be accepted by everyone and loved by everyone, and we're terrified of what people are going to think. So we put ourselves in a box. Okay, fam, if you have been feeling stuck in your corporate job or in your career, and you've been looking to level up, this is going to be for you. Now, this has been a long time coming, but I am finally hosting the inaugural Wanderlust Wealth Retreat here in Denver, Colorado, March 6th through March 9th. Now, this is for the person who either hasn't gotten started investing in real estate, or maybe they've bought one, maybe two properties and are starting to doubt themselves. Maybe they're thinking, can I actually live life on my own terms? Can I really stick it to the man and go travel and spend more time with the people that I love instead of going into a gray office every day? If any of those sound like you have to be at this retreat. Now, it's actually going to be at my Airbnb here in Denver Art House. And we have both an all-inclusive ticket as well as a local Denver ticket. So the all-inclusive ticket is going to be food, accommodation, all of that included. Whereas the local Denver one, the food and accommodation won't be included, but you'll be able to come and attend all of the core events. So if you're ready to level up your life and really make 2025 your year, make 2026 the year that everything freaking changes for you, you must come. Because here's the thing, you don't have to go at this real estate investing entrepreneurship thing all alone. The relationships that you make in in-person events are literally unparalleled. They've changed my life and so many other folks around me, and I know it's going to change yours too. Now, tickets are going fast, so make sure you get signed up ASAP. Check the link in the show notes for more details and to go get signed up, or DM me the word retreat on Instagram. That way we can get you signed up and ready to freaking go. Now, it is going to be a really small small, intimate group. So like I said, tickets are actually going to go really, really fast, and they've already started going really fast. So get signed up as soon as you possibly can, and I will see you there. I remember I was so terrified to quit my corporate job. I was a corporate oil and gas engineer, going out to the oil and gas platforms, commuting to a gray office every single day. I hated it with every being in my soul, but I was so terrified about what my parents would think. I was so terrified about what my coworkers would think. I was so terrified about what if I failed, right? Versus listening to my intuition and knowing deep down in my soul that I was in the wrong place and I was meant to do something more with my life. But that fear, those voices, that feeling in the back of our head where we think about what other people think about us keeps us stuck, keeps us from moving forward. And I think about what if Beyonce had internalized all those voices, right? And those weren't even internal voices. Those were external voices. It was loud and clear from a lot of the country music population that, oh, you're not supposed to be here. Literally, the Country Music Association didn't even recognize her at all for her album during the CMA Awards. She was nominated for nothing. She could have internalized that, but instead she knew she had a message. She had something on her soul. She knew deep down in her heart, in her being, that she was meant to put out this album. And it's crazy because Beyonce has put out so many albums and so many incredible songs and music and everything, but this was the first album that she produced that won Album of the Year. And it was the one that she got the most hate and the most criticism for. And it's such a beautiful thing because she even said during one of her acceptance speeches, she said, sometimes genre is a code word to keep us in our place as artists. And I just want to encourage people to do what they're passionate about. And this literally hits so close to home, it just in terms of how we establish ourselves by what we do for work, right? We get, especially here in the US, a lot of our identity is wrapped around what we do for work, how much money we make, how people accept us into society, and that is it. Or for example, I even think about if you're someone who's on social media, right? And you've probably heard the term like, you need to figure out your niche. You need to figure out your niche down, all this stuff. And we start to establish ourselves as the niche. Like, oh, okay, so I speak about real estate investing. That means that's all I can speak about. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know that I will talk about literally everything and anything. Yes, real estate investing is a part of me and my brand and what I talk about, but I also talk about spirituality. I talk about life. I talk about travel. I talk about personal development. I talk about life lessons, all of these things. So it all wraps up into one. Similarly with Beyonce, right? Yes, before she was an R&B singer. You could call her so many things. R&B singer, pop singer. She came out with like a whole electronic album. It's all music though. And she's literally from Texas. So she came out with a country album because that's what her heart was calling her to produce. We are ever-changing human beings. We are meant to learn, to grow, to push ourselves out of the confines of boxes and niches or genres or whatever that looks like, right? We're meant to break stereotypes, break barriers, change it up, and continue to learn and grow and be the best versions of ourselves. But it is crazy because once you have this identity, I remember when I was an engineer, I had this engineer identity so hard and I didn't even realize how much it was a part of who I was presenting myself to be. And it was so funny because even like a year or two after I quit my corporate job, I still felt the need to say, oh yeah, and I used to be an engineer. Like, girl, I haven't been an engineer for 2 years. Why am I still saying that? But it's like I had this desire, this strong desire and need to let people know, like, oh, by the way, I am smart. Like, even though being an engineer does not mean you're smart, okay? And where the growth really happens is figuring out who you are outside of that identity, outside of that niche. And that's kind of why I even dived into real estate investing. So many people told me not to get started investing in real estate. Don't become an entrepreneur, all of this stuff. You're an engineer, you have a good job, yada, yada, yada. But I felt this desire, the strong desire inside me to grow, to do more, to do better, to see where the world would take me, see where my life could take me, see what I was able to accomplish, right? Versus just staying in my tiny little box. And so the lesson we can really take from Beyonce is to not let anyone put you in the box and keep you there, including yourself. Don't let yourself put you in the box. Don't let other people put you in the box. Don't just accept the fact that, well, I went to school for engineering, so I guess I have to be an engineer. Keep you from doing the things that you always actually wanted to do. Screw that. Like, let's take away that thought process. Because we literally only have one life to live on this earth. And what are you gonna wake up when you're 60, 70, 80 years old, look back at and regret? Like, yes, you studied engineer, but you are not an engineer. You are a human being who's multifaceted and is capable of doing so much. You've proven that you're a hard worker and that you can apply that to absolutely anything. Because if Beyonce can win both Album of the Year and Country Album of the Year with her first country album, that just goes to show that you also are capable of making the switch and knocking it out of the park right away. And here's just another thing that we can really take from Beyonce, okay? Beyonce didn't just accidentally write a country album, right? She didn't just wake up one day and be like, I'm just gonna throw this out and see what sticks, right? She knew from the beginning, she decided, and she made the commitment that she was going to create the best country album out there. She made the decision and she stuck to it and she followed through. She wasn't wishy-washy about the decision. She went all in. In the same way that a successful real estate investor has to go all in order to be successful. The same way that a successful entrepreneur or influencer, right, if you want to be a social media influencer, has to go all in order to be successful. When I decided I knew I needed to get out of my corporate job, I knew I was going to go all in on real estate investing. I knew that I was going to take it to the moon. You've literally got to be just as decisive as you are when you're choosing your college major and committing to it. And here's the fun thing though, too. Just because Beyonce created a country music album, it doesn't mean that she necessarily even wants to be a country music singer for the rest of her life. And she doesn't have to be. Remember, we're ever growing, changing human beings. We were put on this earth to do the thing we were always meant to do, whatever that looks like. And it's going to be different for every single one of us. But I want you to really, really take a step back and think about, where are you playing small? Where are you not committing? Where are you preventing yourself from going after your goals and your dreams because you're terrified about what some random person's going to say? Get out there, be bold, ignore the haters, and live a life that freaking fires you up. Okay, that is it for today. Don't forget, if you are thinking of getting started investing in real estate, but you're not sure how to get started, what a good deal looks like, what the trajectory even looks like as a real estate investor, you're gonna want to come to my free live masterclass. The link is in the bio or in the captions, or if you find me on Instagram, DM me the word free class. I can send you the link to it. It's gonna be amazing. Your mind's gonna be rocked and blown, and you'll learn literally everything that you need to know. Okay, bye fam. Thank you so much for listening to Wanderlust Wealth Show. Now, don't forget to follow the podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you love this episode, it would literally mean the world to me if you shared this with a friend or a family member, or literally like anyone off of the street. Like right now, go ahead, share it so you don't forget, or post it on social media and make sure to tag me. I love seeing what you're listening in on and what you resonated with, and I'm just so freaking thankful for you. I'm so freaking excited for you. I love you, and don't forget, life really doesn't have to be hard.